Man does not like to stand still, but seeks to move forward, and across ever greater distances. In our society, mobility is becoming increasingly important. Means of transportation are becoming more rapid and comfortable. Driving is a pleasure. The road, vehicle control and safety play a major role in that. Where road or rail safety is concerned, KONI is a special name. More than 100 years of experience in mechanical and hydraulic engineering is a solid foundation for the manufacture of adjustable shock absorbers, an area where KONI has won world renown. In the Netherlands, KONI has grown from a small workshop into a company with more than 1,000 employees, with operations in France, Germany and the United States. KONI products are now exported to 90 countries around the world. What brought success to KONI? Through their many years of experience and ongoing research, the specialists at KONI have learned to create shock absorbers for any vehicle. Designs are created to improve the driving quality of a vehicle. Each is tested extensively, both in the test laboratory and on the road. Here, for example, we see a comparison between bad dampers and KONI shock absorbers in an emergency maneuver. Only when all tests show positive results is the shock absorber put into production. At the starting point of production are the highest quality raw materials. Advanced production technology and continuous quality control are constant factors. ISO 9001 and Ford Q1 are certificates which KONI has possessed for a long time. The quality of a shock absorber is on the one hand dependent on the material used, the precision of production, and on the technical detailing. On the other hand, the know-how of the specialists who have to optimally tune the shock absorber. Groups of technicians from around the world are regular guests at KONI for instruction and ongoing training. KONI has one major objective: to make the perfect shock absorber for each application and for the most varied circumstances. The result is a product range of 2,500 shock absorbers that are installed in all kinds of vehicles, even in very special constructions, such as on the Zeeland Bridge in the Netherlands. Let's focus on the users, the drivers of trucks and buses. Why do they choose KONI? Ari van Leeuwen is on his way to southern Italy and still has 2,500 kilometers to go. Anne Fleur starts on her first delivery round. She will drive 150 kilometers today. Her load requires extra care. Piet de Wit starts his interliner for a drive from Dordrecht to Utrecht. Luc Martin has got his load and starts up for a 1,200 kilometer drive to Poland. Nothing out of the ordinary, everyday transport movements. Millions of them occur every day, all over the globe. Skilled drivers who set off with their valuable cargo and are expected to arrive safely and on time. A completely different challenge. We see the Dutch GNAV team making its preparations for the Paris-Dakar Rally. A killer race that puts drivers and vehicles to the most extreme test. Yet there is a link between these extremes. For these fierce conditions, vehicles have also been fitted with KONI shock absorbers. Road holding is important on these roads too. For KONI, this is an excellent opportunity to find out more about what shock absorbers have to endure under these tough circumstances. But let's return to more normal means of transport, such as trucks and buses. Safety, naturally, is a top requirement. This goes for both drivers of specially adapted transport and for drivers of large lorries on international routes. Everyone wants to arrive at their destination safe and unharmed. Good shock absorbers mean good road holding and a safe and comfortable trip. How does a shock absorber work? A shock absorber can be moved in two directions. When the wheel bounces up, after an irregularity in the road, the damper is compressed, the bump stroke. And when the wheel returns, the damper extends, the rebound stroke. In the bump stroke, the piston travels downwards in the cylinder. Oil flows almost without resistance through the orifices in the piston into the space above the piston. The piston rod entering the cylinder tube displaces a volume of oil which is forced through the foot valve into the reservoir tube. So the foot valve creates the bump forces. In the rebound stroke, the piston travels upwards. The oil is forced out of the space above the piston through the orifices and the valves in the piston. So the piston creates the rebound forces. Thanks to the strong attachments and special welding techniques, Koni shock absorbers can easily withstand heavy treatment. Every Koni shock absorber is constructed in such a way that metal-to-metal contact is avoided. The piston, for that reason, is equipped with a band, manufactured from a special synthetic material. Together with the use of heat-resistant oil, it doesn't matter whether a truck works in the tropics or in the polar regions. Loading and unloading demand much of a vehicle with air suspension. Unloading can be especially devastating for the shock absorbers. To prevent a shock absorber from being torn apart, Koni invented the hydraulic rebound stop. This hydraulic rebound stop works as follows. During the last few centimeters of the rebound stroke, the damping is drastically increased, which causes the extension to slow down considerably. This prevents the shock absorber piston hitting the top with high speed and force. When driving on or off a ferry, for instance, the front axle of a trailer may come off the ground completely. The result is that the full pressure of the air suspension is applied to the shock absorbers. Koni has provided the trailer dampers with extra strong welds and a special piston construction that allows each shock absorber to carry a static load of over 7,000 kilograms. Even under such circumstances, the damper does not collapse. Most vehicles are constructed to weigh as little as possible and to be able to carry as heavy a load as possible. Especially for air-suspended vehicles which travel long distances, laden as well as empty, Koni has created load-dependent shock absorbers. Since this type of shock absorber is connected with the air bellow, a change of pressure in the system automatically adjusts the shock absorber. In this way, the vehicle is always optimally damped. To make buses more comfortable, Koni designed special shock absorbers with slow-closing valves. A horizontal steering damper prevents shimmy of the steering wheels and improves directional stability, especially at high speed and on bad roads. Also, it prevents the rapid wear on tyres and steering gear. Especially for buses, Koni designed a steering damper which only works in the mid-position. This steering damper only works when necessary. The great advantage is that the driver, when steering, does not have to work against the damper. We mentioned it before. Men want to move on. Standing still means losing time and money, particularly for transport companies. When selecting new equipment, efficient companies opt for materials with a long service life, requiring minimal maintenance. A well-known fact for Koni. Many drivers around the world are satisfied with the improved driving qualities of their vehicle thanks to Koni shock absorbers. Dampers with an exceptional durability because of their adjustability, so that safe kilometers also mean economical kilometers. Koni, perfect as nature.